Hello guys, and how is everybody doing? I hope everybody is doing well. Well guys, I am doing some soup, and it's fish soup, and it's with Dr. Fish. And I just thought I show, because Dr. Fish is a fish that can be very raw, and it has to be cleaned very well. Okay, so basically I had it been it's been soaking off for a while now in salt. You see the amount of lemon and lime I have in it, and lime and some vinegar. So it's all cleaned out properly. I think it's about 4 or 5 of them, and we're just gonna. It's like a fish broth. It's gonna be chocho slash Christophine, some carrots, few green banana, and okra, and that's it. And maybe a little bit of carrot and a pumpkin. That's we don't want no heavy food in it. So basically, guys, this is how you do it. Make sure you have a lot of lime in it, and it's well clean inside. The rawness is a piece of thing in the head. So once you discarded that, then the fish has no rawness. A lot of people don't know that. There's a thing in the head of the Dr. Fish, but this is one of the most. This is one of the best fish, folks, to do your fish soup with. It have a lot of iron in it, in this fish. Okay, so basically it's been soaking off for a while now, and I'm just gonna when you buy it, make sure there's a little black thing here. Make sure you get them to cut it off. Okay, so all that's lime, and I didn't put it to soak in any vinegar, because vinegar would the acid would tear into it pretty hard. But I put a lot of lime and some salt, and then about 10 minutes ago I had a vinegar to it. So right now they're so clean, so I'm going to rinse them off now and season them up. Okay, so let me just discard this in the sink and rinse them off. Yeah, I just thought I should, because it's not everybody really know how to because Dr. Fish is a very good fish, but you have to know how to clean it up. Otherwise you're gonna be anyway. So that's it. Lots of lime, folks, and salt in the water. Leave it for a little while to soak off, then give it about 10 minutes, then you add the vinegar to it, because vinegar, if you put it to soak, any fish you leave to soak straight up with vinegar in it, the vinegar is going to deteriorate the skin, the flesh, because the vinegar is acid, so you mostly use the vinegar to wash the fish, but the lime now and the salt, you soak it in, you put it to soak in. Okay, and you know what, Dr. Fish soup was one of the biggest the most popular soup back home, and I get my Dr. Fish straight from back home here. I don't get it here, so that's a good thing, so I really know that it's not growing in any. A lot of the fish here are growing in what do you call it, ponder. Okay, and what I do, folks, I always go, and Dr. Fish is the skin is very tough, because I want the seasoning to sink in, so I always do that. So this is one right here. I have about 4, so they all rinsed and drained, and I'm just gonna season them. I'm gonna use a glass bowl so you can see better. I used a bigger bowl because I wanted the water to cover them. Yeah. And when you finish with the fish washing up, folks, you gotta really clean up with some soap and a little bleach sometimes to cut the rawness, especially Dr. Fish. So I have 2 more, and I'm just gonna season it up with my own herbs and spices, so I like to just I'm not even gonna partition them. I'm just gonna, so the season, and then after I season them, I'm gonna leave them for about an hour or so just to marinate, and just make sure you clean out the inside of it very well. Okay, this one I already cut, so there you go. It also, Dr. Fish is a nice fish to also stew down. It can be fried. It can, it's not just for soup, but that is the most popular way when I grew up back home. we use it for soup. And it has its own oil, omega oil. When you put it in the pot, you just see all that beautiful oil. Just it's a beautiful fish. Yeah, but it's very raw. You know. So I'm just washing my hands. Well, you know what? Wash my hands to open up all my and get rid of this board. Okay, so I get my black pepper. Another hot day over here, folks. It was raining early on, but now it's sunshine. So I'm just gonna put a little. I'm using pink Himalayan salt. Yeah, just put a little salt in each one. Not gonna put too much because I'm gonna put a little bit of herbs also. But you know what? It's soup, so I'm not gonna add a lot of salt to the soup because I just use a vegetable stock. I don't use none of that Maggi. And I'm using the clean hand to cover this, folks. Yeah. So I'm gonna be adding, using the clean hand. I'm holding it. Yeah. So adding a little bit of rosemary. I'll cover back the bottles when I wash my hands. And a little bit of basil. I think this oregano. Yeah, oregano to it. These herbs are so good for you, you know, when you cook. Just add a little bit of oregano. These are, and some basil. Even though I'm going to be putting fresh garlic, I'm going to be putting some garlic powder. And the garlic powder, I made it from my own fresh garlic. So that is basically fresh too. So by the time I put this in the pot, all I'm going to add to it later on is just some thyme, some fresh thyme and fresh rosemary. Because it will be well seasoned here right now. And I'm adding my herbs, some Gayu herbs. Okay. And a little bit of garlic powder. Like I said, I'm gonna also put chopped garlic too because you know I love my garlic. And I have some onions and okay. And I'm putting a little bit of other spices. This is roast garlic with so this is gonna be well seasoned. So that's why I said after I do this, I don't need any Maggi or anything in there because it has everything right here right now. And I'm just gonna let me wash my hands and dry it for the black pepper. I'm gonna put some cracked black pepper in it also. Fresh black pepper is always so good for. And you know when I ready, right now the pot is boiling with some pumpkin in it, the water. Nothing like fresh cracked black pepper, okay? A little bit more. Okay, and the smell of the fresh cracked is so nice, folks. And where is the onion and the garlic? So this is like when you season up your meat. That's how I do my, especially Dr. Fish. So once everything going, once I put in this fish, all the seasoning is in the fish. So this is garlic. I'm just giving some garlic to put in. I'll use about 2 or 3 cloves. This is flavor right here. And like I said, I'm just gonna leave it to marinate for about an hour, half an hour or so. Yeah, I get about half an hour. Usually when I'm doing this, I season up from overnight, but we just decided that we couldn't decide on what they want to cook, want to have, and remember we have these Dr. Fish, so we said, why don't we have some, just make a broth, and you know, we don't cook soup with a lot of food, a lot of dumplings and stuff like that. No dumplings going to be going into this. It's just chocho, bit of carrot, pumpkin, and a couple of seed of green banana, and that's it. And okra. I know okra, you can't forget the okra, okay? So that's the garlic right there. And I also use a piece of onion to season it up. The green onion I leave when I'm, yeah, so I put a piece of onion in it. Because it's like, I season it up just like I'm seasoning up my chicken, you know. Because fish is something that you want to, yeah, so I season up with about a quarter onion. And when you add the onion and the green scallion and the scallion, it gives you stuff a very nice flavor. Okay, so that's there. And I'm gonna add now a little bit of my homemade jerk seasoning, folks. Yeah, made it myself, so I'm just gonna add about a teaspoon. I'm still gonna add the Scotch bonnet later, so you know, that's homemade jerk seasoning there. Everything almost here is homemade. So right now we're just gonna, I don't think I forget anything, so we're just gonna all work it in right now and leave it for about an half an hour. I'm gonna put a little bit of scallion also in it, green scallion, and I'm just gonna break it up like this, you know. This part I'll cut. I'm just gonna break it up to get all the flavors out, you know. So that will just incorporate it in the in it, and just rub it up and just leave it. Everything, yeah. Just, you know, just like that. So all of that, this is how I grew up and see my grandmother do it. She's still gonna add a few pieces later on with the thyme and some pimenta. And then you go like this, and you see all that juice coming, and you just mix it all in all the fish. Yeah, the jerk seasoning and everything in the Dr. Fish. So when that hit the pot, folks, so it's gonna marinate now. So I just cover it up and leave it to marinate. Oh, and I'm gonna drop a bay leaf or two. That will go directly in the soup. So you make sure you just, yeah, and all the nooks and crannies, yeah, you just get some of all that seasoning in. And if these are nice to steam also. This would be nice right now to steam, or you do it like this also when you steam it. This fish is can be cooked in many ways. You fry it, you steam it, but the most popular way that I grew up with is your Dr. Fish soup. They have another fish you used to put with it back home called congatoni. I don't know if anybody here ever heard of the congatoni fish. So right now, folks, this is well marinated. I'm gonna leave for about half an hour, because by that time, folks, it will be good. So just leave it like that for about an half an hour. I'm just gonna cover it. I'm just gonna put this plate here. This is the plate that have been thyme, and I'm gonna add a few more on the berries, and all I'm gonna add is a Scotch bonnet and a few more scallion, and that is gonna be for the part of the fish. Okay, so that's for that right now, folks. So folks, I am gonna let that marinate for half an hour, and I will return to continue the journey. Okay, folks, the fish is marinated. The pot is boiling with the pumpkin in it. And here I have all the ingredients I'm going to be putting in it. Just like I said, 3 bananas, green bananas, a green plantain, yeah, where folks here, like some Christophine, chocho, carrots, and that's it. So we're going to be putting in all of these now. So we have carrots, chocho, green banana, and then we're gonna add the okra also. Okay, and once this get down, then we'll just boil. Then we just add the fish, and with all the seasoning and everything. So this is all the food right now, folks. So we're gonna let that cook, bit down, then we add the fish to it. Okay, so that's all the vegetable in it right now. Okay, folks, and we're gonna let that vegetable cook down, then we'll come back and add the fish to it. So back in a sec. Hello guys, I'm back. I'm gonna put the fish in right now. The vegetables all cook. Okra is in cook. I'm just gonna drop the vegetable in, the fish in, and thyme, and I have a nice hot pepper here, and let's let it simmer down, and that would be it. So right now I have all, the thyme and some allspice and a green pepper right there, folks, for it. So I'm gonna add the fish them in right now, folks, because the food cooks, see, putting them whole same way. 4 of us, everybody, well, who can eat off one, I guess, so the fish is going in, so it's gonna be simmering, this is the last simmering for a while, and all this good juice, throw it right in, and you see, with the seasoning, okay, and I'm gonna add some more what do you call it there, some more green onions to it, along with the thyme and some rosemary. So right now, get my spoon. Okay, so this is just gonna the fish cook. This should be done in the next 10 minutes. The fish should be cooked. Fish is very easy to cook. So I'm adding in my thyme, folks, and some rosemary and allspice. Everything else is seasoned up in the fish, and I'm gonna add a few more, little bit more green scallion, because I put a lot in the seasoning with the fish. Okay, I'm just gonna add some more, a few pieces more, and then I'm gonna add my green scotch bonnet, folks. Yeah, and that should be it. Yeah. And I'm also gonna add my vegetable soup stock to it right now. See, I just do it up in some water, and this soup stock, I use some of my own homemade noodles, because I don't use those other stuff. So this is my vegetable stock with you. I have the package of noodles, small noodles separately, so I'm gonna add that to it. Okay, so that's basically right there. That's the flavoring for it. I don't need any Maggi or anything like that. Just vegetable stock in some boiling water, and package of my own noodles, little teeny tiny noodles. Yeah. So I'm just gonna add a piece of butter to it now, and that should be it. That's good. I think I could use another stock, or maybe I just had a little. Oh, okay, I just had some butter. You can take a little bit more salt, so I'll add another vegetable stock to it. And you can see all that oil come from the fish on top, because this fish produces a lot of oil. Like that's the omega oil right there, folks. That's the good oil, omega-3 oil from the fish, because that's what you get from most fish. But Dr. Fish has a nice when you put it, a nice omega oil comes from it, and that's why it's such a nice fish. It has a lot of omega-3. So it's just gonna simmer down there now, folks, and then it's all done. As Moko said, the boat will be landed, and like I said, the fish is gonna cook like in a few minutes. Yeah. Yeah. And you see, folks, we don't have a lot of big food in it. No big yam or dumpling or anything. It's just chocho, carrots, green banana, and we put a green plantain in it, and okra. That's it. And carrots, some carrots. So I'm just gonna add another vegetable stock to it because it looked like it could use a little bit more flavoring, a little more. And instead of just putting the salt, I just put in a stock, another stock, because you know this have more flavor than this. There you go. And if it still needs a little more salt, then I add just a little pink Himalayan salt to it. I also like to add a little bit of 100% pure cold pressed olive oil. It gives it nice flavor. Just about a teaspoon. That brings the flavor together with the butter. Awesome. And as they say, that's that. Just let it do its thing. And that should be done in a few minutes. It's bubbling away. And I'm just gonna turn the heat down now, turn the stove down a bit now, because most of the cooking is done. So folks, 10 more minutes and the boat will be landed. Okay folks, back in a few minutes. Okay guys, the boat is landed. I just put in some fresh parsley and cilantro, and that's it. I turned the heat off and it's still bubbling folks. There you go. So that's the Dr. Fish soup there. So I'm just gonna plate some right now. Yeah, that's the fish. This is the pepper. I'm just gonna put that on top. So like I said folks, this is not a soup with big yam or banana or big yam or stuff like that. This is just a few green bananas and okra. So it's basically a broth, fish broth. See if I could find any of the banana down there. So guys, I am just gonna put for one of these fish. I'm trying to find some banana. It was only 3 banana and some and a plantain. So but basically what this kind of soup, or my grandmother do it back home, this is a broth, right? It's not like a thick soup full with all this food. Two of the main ingredients in there is the chocho and the green banana, you know, and your okra. So let's see if I can just land one with the hole. Okay, and I'll just add some broth to that, colorful broth. And guys, it tastes so good. You don't need a lot of food in your soup. No dumpling is in here folks. You know, because the folks around, you know, nobody wants any dumpling. So it's just basically the broth, and people love the okra. This one I'm plating, I'm sure Anne will take it because it have a lot of okras in it, and some chocho. Those are the main ingredients in a lot of these soups. And folks, I just have pepper right there. So this is my grandmother's. Let's put the pot out of the way, off the heat, because then the fish there will get overcooked. So folks, this is Dr. Fish broth, fish tea. Yeah, that's what we call it. We grew up calling it back home. So that's Dr. Fish fish tea right there folks. Not a lot of food in it. Like I said, it's okra, chocho, and in the other islands they know chocho as Christophine. Few green banana and green plantain. My grandmother used to love cooking green plantain and stuff. And folks, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I just want to big up everybody. Marie, Fire, Richard Brown, Deacon, big up yourself. And folks, have yourself a good evening and try this Dr. Fish soup, okay? because especially if you're married and you have a husband, it is a good, it is, as Martha Stewart would say, folks, it is a good thing. This is as natural as it get. A nice bowl of Dr. Fish soup. You don't need anything more than that. Okay, folks? So thanks again for subscribing to the channel, and have yourself a good evening. Peace.